Makes perfect sense. But I mean, this is Python script. Can you dig in and show us some of the syntax of the store JSON method there? Just,
Sure,
right, because clearly you're handing over to another function, and we want to go take a look at what that's doing.
So here it is, and here's where we finally get into some Zen directly. So we've got this thing called a collection, which it's a wrapper around a table.
Sure.
So you can think of it as a table.
Right, we have collections in Mongo.
Update, which is a wrapper around, which you can think of as a record.
Okay.
So here we're just storing JSON. So we say document update, and then that's that JSON that we saw getting built up a little bit ago. And then what this code's doing is it's saying if I want to write document update document 1, because that's these documents, these photos are just indexed 1 through whatever.
Sure.
That's the way I design the table. If it's not there, I'm trying to update it. If it's not there, then I create it. So here's the create call. And that's it. That's the whole shoot match as far as storing JSON.
Nice.
And storing an image, we'll go down here while we're here. It's a little more complicated. In the case of JSON, I'm overriding the same record, and that call is used. You may recall that there was the status that was being updated in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, whether or not it was a face or not, and whether or not it was connected.
Time, and if we looked at it more, we would have seen megabytes written, things like that.
Okay.
That always gets written to the same record. So that's why always gets written to record 1. In the case of the blobs or the images, we create the document, same call. We're putting some JSON in there. That was some metadata about the document, the timestamp, and the kind of image, whether it's JPEG or PNG or whatever. And then the blob, which is the actual image.
Right, the bits of the image that you're loading.
Right. So that is the entire difficulty in writing to the database is that call right there. Right?
Love it. Love how simple it is. Oh my gosh.
We in this script, we're limiting the number of images kept locally because we don't want to fill up the local storage.
Sure.
And so that's all this next check is doing, is saying if we've gotten past the max images, then we're going to delete the oldest image. And so there's a delete call. And
just
then,
roll it.
Yep, and then we're done. So, and this is all thread safe. This is all transactional.
Nice.
So if I wrote this Python script to be using Python threads, I don't have to get into the business of doing any kind of synchronization myself. It all just works.
So the chat room is pointing out about this time last year, I wrote a little thing, and it's about that time for me to break it back out again. I wrote a little app, just a couple scripts to run on a Raspberry Pi. Tom, it's sitting in my basement. Okay, here's what an IoT newbie I am, and how much I avoided using a database on the Raspberry Pi. I put a camera on a Raspberry Pi and I point it at my oil tank because I live in an old house that has an oil heater.
Okay.
And I have it take a picture once every 6 hours of the gauge on the oil tank and upload that picture. Yeah, you can tell the Rube Goldbergian.
It's clever. I think it's clever.
It is the Rube Goldbergian digital gauge. Uploads a picture into Azure, does the number recognition on where the number is in the gauge, and puts it into a Power BI chart, right? Nice. It does what I need it to do. What you're showing me, I could do this all with a 400-line script and store it into a little Zen database locally, and once every hour or so, push the latest positive record out to my Power BI dashboard now.
Absolutely, and you could even do all the recognition locally, and only bother to update it if it changed, for example.
I'm not saying, but it did cost me a couple of nickels here to do all that recognition using the AI services in the cloud. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying it cost a couple nickels to get that done, just to pull out numbers and for me to be lazy and not to go into my basement. But I love what you've written here. This is really neat to see, right? Databases, literally the actual database call, 2-3 lines of code, all simple and real easy to get into.
And what you said reminded me of something. One of the things that we found gained some traction on this is that the whole idea of saving some money. So the more you can do locally, whether it's you don't want to send all the images upstream because you don't want to pay for the storage, or you lose connectivity occasionally. So the more you can do on the edge, the better. And the more powerful the database you have on the edge, the more you can do easily, right?
And think about all the processors that you have out there on the edge. If they're not busy, make them busy, because then you're paying for less cloud time.
Yeah, even this Jetson has 4 ARMs and 2 Denver CPUs. So it's amazing the amount of power that's out there now.
Are you kidding me? It's got 6 processors on that little board.
Yes, and the GPUs to go with it. So it's pretty amazing.
Okay, now I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those boards and start setting up. Yes, Sean in the chat room is saying I need to refactor my oil tank vision project. Yes, I think I do, Sean, and I'm going to need to get a better camera this time. It's a great idea. Tom, you've inspired me here. I know what I'm doing for my December project now.
Excellent. So you productize that and make a fortune.
Nah. I just want to know when I need to reorder oil here, Tom. Come on. Okay. I'm not thinking that far ahead here. I'm just a guy on a camera on Twitch here. A Canon Mark 6 camera, suggests Hugo. No, that's way too much camera, Hugo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not spending a couple $1,000s on a camera.